While churches rose to the sky in Europe, in 12th century Africa, they were being carved out of the ground. These Christian pilgrims in Ethiopia are on their way to worship at one of them. In these highlands, in the 12th century, Lalibela, a new king from a new dynasty, built a new holy capital. Today, Lalibela's legacy lives on, in the physical splendor of the churches and the traditions of their guardian priests.
My
blessed people and congregation, churches with no mud, no wood, and no cement. You cannot find anything like this in the rest of the world. You are all blessed because you are here. This place was built by God.
Every year on St. George's Day, pilgrims gather to celebrate a faith that has endured here for 16 centuries. These Christians claimed that God brought the Ark of the Covenant and the tablets of the Ten Commandments to their land. On holy days today, priests carry on their heads replicas of the tablets, wrapped in gilded cloth. The people of Ethiopia have been carving churches out of mountains for more than 1,000 years. But the 11 churches of Lalibela symbolize their achievement to the outside world. The king has become a legend, his story told by monks even today.
There was a city called Roha, where lived a man who belonged to one of the most noble of families, one of the richest in gold, silver, garments, precious stones, servants and maids. He had a child who became the mysteriously named Lalibela.
In the legend, the king's greatness was recognized at birth. A swarm of bees descended on his cot as if around honey.
His mother named him Lalibela, which means the bee has recognized him as king. But these were not bodily bees, but angels who took bee form in order to announce his reign.
God sent one of his angels to bring Lalibela to heaven, to show him the most holy of churches. Lalibela, the story goes, ordered tools to be made to carve temples like those he'd seen in heaven. His craftsmen turned the wild mountainside into a new Jerusalem. work took 24 years. To carve out the inside, the masons first had to tunnel into the structure through what would become an upper window.
He embellished the interiors, and thus he ended the construction of the churches, reproducing everything he had seen from the seventh heaven. All carved without wood for the windows, nor mortar for the stones, all made from a living rock.
Though not the grandest buildings of their time, these churches were unique in their construction. They embody an ideal typical of the century, to remodel nature to match a vision. But while priests tell of Lalibela's spirituality, he had a more practical purpose, a political program, to proclaim his legitimacy as the heir of Solomon. For Lalibela belonged to a dynasty that had seized the throne. The churches were propaganda, a political move to legitimize his rule. With an army 60,000 strong, Lalibela launched campaigns to extend his rule. His Christian empire filled the highlands, grew rich on trade with the Red Sea, raised churches on the highest hilltops, and kept the surrounding Muslims at bay. Lalibela set out to build a religious state, a spiritual center that would rival Jerusalem. His holy books put new words into the mouth of Christ himself.
I blessed this place, and from now onwards let it be a holy place, as Mount Tabor, or as Golgotha, the place of my crucifixion, or as Jerusalem. If man undertakes pilgrimage to it, it is equal as if he went to my tomb in Jerusalem. And if somebody receives my flesh and blood in those churches, he will be redeemed of all his sins.
Today, Lalibela is revered as a saint. His shrine attracts a continuous flow of pilgrims. They come to kiss the staff he held in life when, in the 12th century, he and his followers carved these churches from the rock of the African landscape.